What's up, everyone? Welcome back. I'm looking down because I forgot to write the title on my notes here, but welcome back to Apothecary Diaries. This is episode 7, I think. Yeah, episode 7 and 8. 7 plus 8. All right, here we go. Let's actually do this. I should have done that before clicking record, but I realized the second I clicked record that I hadn't written it down, and the title was important. So I'm excited to jump into this. I've really enjoyed this show so far. Only 6 episodes in, but it's been a lot of fun. I say only 6 episodes in, but honestly, that's quite a bit because we're only 3 videos in, and sometimes I count, you know, how much I've been watching a series in videos. But since we've been doing 2 episodes per video, it's, you know, we're getting through it. We're getting through it pretty quickly overall. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this. The show has a lot of heart. It's got beautiful animation. It's got great character designs. It's also just very, like, understated. Like, I feel like a lot of that stuff, especially like the animation and how good the story is and stuff, it's not showing off about it, you know? like this, it's not a bad thing when shows show off, so don't take this as a negative, but like a show like Jujutsu Kaisen shows off with its story and with its characters and with its animation, right? I love Jujutsu Kaisen. I think that's a great show. I really enjoy watching it. But I'm showing you like the example of like the difference between that and something like Apothecary Diaries, which is like, yes, it's got very good animation and great character designs and great story, but it's so understated. And I think that's really cool. Like, it makes the show feel pretty special to me. Because it almost feels like you're in on a secret. Like, hey, secretly, this show's amazing. Come check this out. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping into more. And I'm loving Maomao. I love every second that she's on screen. I honestly love that this show has such an abundance of great female characters, because it's a joy for me. It's an absolute pleasure. Yeah, I'm loving it. So let's just jump into episode 7 of Apothecary Diaries. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And you can go to my Patreon account if you want not only the full-length reactions, which on its own is very good, but also early access, which means the next week of videos of these videos is on there right now, which means you can probably get episodes 9 and 10 on my Patreon account right now. So go check that out ASAP. But let's just jump into this. This is Apothecary Diaries, Season 1, Episode 7. Daddy! You're not doing much about your dad these days. Are we gonna, like, confront her feelings about the fact that she's not with her father right now?
I wonder if Dad's alright.
I feel like that's the first time she said that since she was kidnapped, so good.
That's right.
The minister who ate the poison is in terrible condition.
You're sick and need lots of rest.
Aww, they're worried about her. Aww.
Not that I don't feel at ease without Freckles.
Yeah, put him back on. I want your freckles again.
You're up and welcome to take the day off.
I'm rested. Please
There
let
we
me
go.
know what you require.
There are the freckles.
I feel naked when they're gone. With your permission, I'd like to keep them.
After the tasting incident.
I've caused you distress.
Aww.
It's fine.
Back at the garden party, he was seated where a high-ranking official would be. What a humble... He's bound to steal the hearts of a few ladies in waiting.
Yeah, I can see that.
As you asked, from Master Jinshi.
What is
This
that?
soup. It's the same one Lady
Oh.
Gyokyo was supposed to drink yesterday.
I see.
That was good of him.
Promise you won't drink it?
There's no need. The metal bowl has already oxidized. It's no longer tasty.
What a shame.
When you picked up the bowl, did you use your bare hands?
No, I was careful not to.
Good
I
job.
scooped a bit into a spoon to see if it was poison, and I immediately wrapped the bowl in a cloth.
Great job.
Click, click, click. Gather, gather, gather.
Gather.
Brought some powder and a brush.
That's right. Then you dust the bowl. Finally, we brush off the excess flour.
Is this
and
dusting
let
for
it
fingerprints? Yep.
Whenever your fingers touch a surface, they will leave behind a small mark.
It's really
They're
hard to
especially visible
compare
on silverware,
fingerprints
which
in
easily
this day and age,
corrodes.
though.
Whoever left behind these finger marks on the bowl would have had to have touched the metal after it had already been polished.
Exactly my point. Examining the size and positions of the fingerprints, we should be able to deduce how it was held.
Oh, yeah.
Looks
That's
like
true.
the bowl was touched by nothing.
Something
I
about the
believe
taste.
there are 4 people who are likely to have touched it. The one who poured the soup, the one who carried it,
Man, it goes through
and
so many
maybe
people's
Shrew's
hands.
taster. This unknown person. I believe they are the one who poisoned the soup.
This is really interesting. I like
Your
it. It's a
theory is
detective story.
correct. Why?
Not knowing it was poisoned.
Why would she?
She's a bully.
That's
Harassing a concubine?
a
You're sure?
real reason.
Hard for you to believe, huh? And yet, every one of her servants chose to dress in white instead.
Interesting. There's so much politics
As
in the way you
such,
dress.
Lady Lishu in her gaudy dress was made to look a fool. A child that couldn't read the room. Her lady should have let her shine.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that. Lady Aduo's ladies in waiting were scolding Lady Lishu's servants for not doing their
Okay,
jobs.
that makes more sense.
Their enemy at the dress in question. And since she's so young, she agreed, not realizing it was meant to
Wow.
humiliate her. She didn't suspect a thing.
Not
That's
only
so
the dress,
bitchy.
I guess, from that perspective, marrying her deceased husband's son was an indecency that went beyond words.
Still, you're her ladies in waiting. Like,
That fingerprint
do your
near the
fucking
bull's
job.
edge. I think they must have held part of the rim while stirring it into the soup.
Seems that way.
Seems
Their
that
fingers
way.
must never touch
I
the
always
rim
think of
where
Cowboy
the nipple is
Bebop when I
supposed
hear
to
that
place
line.
their lips. Hong Young taught me that. That's all I've been able to gather.
That's really cool. Ah, that was such a cool
May
scene.
I ask you one more thing? I want to know why you attempted to protect that lady in waiting the other day. I'm just curious.
Well, I guess I should be thankful since she went out of her way to make the swap. Or I wouldn't have gotten to taste the poison.
True.
If I had the chance to do it all over again, I would have swallowed the entire bowl.
She's so insane.
That is all.
I've always been impressed with how you word things, Gao Xuan.
Is that so?
Clearly an inside job. Wouldn't you agree?
Why is he so tired?
Based on what we know,
I haven't slept a wink or even changed my clothes since yesterday thanks to this mess.
that's why.
I'm done with.
your true nature is starting to show.
Who cares? There's
His
nobody
true
here.
nature. There
You're
we go.
forgetting me.
A little slack.
That's
if
something
you
Maomao
please.
would like to
No.
see.
It's not an easy thing, having someone look after you since the day you were born.
Damn.
It's something only special individuals can wear.
Okay.
You should take better care of it.
Why? What
Yes, yes.
does that mean?
Oh yeah, did you manage to get Alfred any hairpins?
Yeah, a few.
Wait, what did you just say?
You can get out of the rear palace now?
I want to hear everything you have!
Sure thing.
Yeah, finally some answers about these hairpins.
And it works the other way too. You can use one to ask somebody to take you out of the palace.
Ah, okay.
Thanks so much, Xiaolan. I'll try.
Xiaolan. I need to make sure to write her name because I love her.
I received a total of 4 hairpins, 2 of which
pretty
were from
good.
men. But considering how one of them lost a certain part of their anatomy, does he still count? Right
So,
then.
is he not a eunuch? Like, I feel like that's one of
A
the
woman from the rear. This.
secrets about him.
Let's see.
We have to pull down his
Did the lady
pants.
from the banquet take the gesture seriously? I only gave a single hairpin to the Jade Pavilion during the banquet. So this is from...
It's from the girl, yep.
I wonder what excuse I can use to turn her down.
Damn, I thought he would be... Huh, thought he'd be all over it.
Excuse me.
Look, she's cuter now with
Thank you for
freckles.
And who might you
He
be?
probably won't think that. Their
I get
beauty
that a
standards are
lot.
different.
Makeup changes your appearance drastically.
Yeah, I get that a lot too.
So why did you summon me here?
I wish to visit my family.
Your family?
I was told I could go home temporarily. As long as you can vouch for me, that is.
You're quite a
Interesting.
bold girl. In waiting, demanding that a military officer vouch for her?
She's not demanding.
Yes.
Well, I guess so. Now she is.
And I suppose that's the only reason you requested to meet with me today.
Yep.
Yes.
I see how it is.
As a matter of fact, I believe I can offer you suitable compensation.
What do you mean by that? Oh.
View the flowers over at the Verdigrease house.
One night at such a high-class brothel would cost an entire year of my salary.
I
Well, if
see.
you're worried, Introduction letters.
I
Heidi,
see.
Or Maymay.
She's got connections back there because of where she came
Those are
from.
the
My deepest apologies. Sorry for wasting your time.
Hold on, maybe.
It's unfortunate, but I suppose I have no other choice than to find another party more interested than you.
She has other contacts.
Oh, it's so great.
One made of rose quartz and another out of silver.
She's like, look how many men want
The
me.
people who far outrank me. She might actually be telling the truth. No, it's way too suspicious.
You gotta go for it,
Then again,
man.
if it's true.
Go on. What's your answer?
When will you be ready to leave?
Yes.
Congratulations, Maomao!
So happy for you, I could cry!
You must have met someone wonderful.
I love these ladies in waiting. It's so funny.
How did you meet this guy?
His poor heart. When he finds out, it's going to shatter.
I don't think.
I can't wait to see the look on his face.
Your dear mother.
Oh, you're saying so? Yeah, you're saying because Jinshi's the one that sneezed.
Eventually,
So Jinshi's
Jinshi
gonna
was
be
able to
shattered.
finish up his work day after Maomao had left for her trip.
I'm sorry, but our Maomao has taken off with someone.
So she chose another man's hairpin over
It's only a
his.
3-day homecoming.
The Pleasure District.
Many local girls look up
music's
to the
great.
courtesans and from mid-range to top tier. Huh? Long time no see. Hi, Grams. How's
Is
everyone?
she gonna be grumpy? Yeah. Oh Jesus. Is it gonna be like, where the fuck did you go?
Allow me to introduce you to the madam of the Verdigrease house. She still got it. I remember she used the same technique to help me throw up poisons.
Are you a guest of honor?
Just how strong are your arm muscles?
I do train them pretty frequently.
Pretty good.
What? Make a good first impression, yeah?
You bet.
You go and vanish 10 whole months without a
She
single word
was
warning.
kidnapped.
I had no say in the matter. Did you
What is
bother
she supposed to
reading the letter
do?
I sent?
Turned your friend away instead of treating him like a king.
Yeah, I've got it with the wages I've earned working at the rear palace so far. I asked if they would.
That's not nearly enough of Pyrene. Not by a long shot.
Can't we agree it's
This
enough for some tea?
Girl
She won't
was
let that long man out
kidnapped.
of here with- that won't fly. I'm adding it to the tab.
I'll be in debt forever.
Cake with a little dough so we can drain them for a long
Oh
time.
my god, this woman.
Would eunuchs count? No, the ladies would ruin business. Scoush won, but I doubt he'd be interested.
True.
Guess I could act doctor if I'm desperate.
I don't know if he'd be.
Your old man ought to
maybe.
be home.
All you have to do is cross a single street, and the face of the town changes dramatically.
What if she gets abducted
The
again?
roads become lined with shacks, beggars, just how I remember it.
What's her dad gonna be like? What's his reaction to all this?
Hello, Dad. I'm home.
Oh, my gosh.
Welcome back. You were gone a
That's
while.
it. Oh, welcome
I
back.
finally got away.
It's so crazy to me how casual it's treated. Like it's just so normal in this society.
Yeah, I think I will.
Oh, she gets to sleep at home for a bit. What's that look?
The
What's
real
that look?
palace. Twist of fate.
A twist of fate. Why? What? No, hold on. That wasn't 20 minutes. What? Another great episode. I'm already excited to click play on the next one, so I'm glad we're doing 2 episodes in this video. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So, it's great. It's great because this series is doing a really good job at balancing like a fun mystery with great character work, and I really, that's like some really great stuff to me. I mean, I don't necessarily seek out mystery stories, but I love stories that have things I care a lot about with a good, like a really good mystery. Like, I think a good mystery can elevate a story so much. So I don't tend to like search out like whodunits or whatever, right? There are still some that I love. Like, I love the Knives Out films. I think both the Knives Out films are so much fun, and I can't wait for the third movie. I love those so much. I mean, I did a reaction to Glass Onion on this channel. I just remembered. I experienced my love of that firsthand on this channel. So I do like some of them, but I don't tend to look for mystery stuff. But when you have just like a narrative that I really care about, and then there's also like lots of mystery on top, it to me is like so good. It's so engaging. I love those little hints of mystery. So yeah, this series, I love the way it's like very nicely weaving in these mysteries to it. And it's such sort of a non-traditional mystery story, I feel like. The idea of like, you know, I guess poisoning is kind of like a mystery thing, but it's not even like there was a murder and you have to figure out who was the murderer or whatever. It was like an attempted poisoning. It didn't end up doing anything, but it's still like dangerous to know that's about. And then there's also like smaller mysteries in there. Like, I really liked the detail in this of like, we find out that Li Shu's ladies in waiting were like humiliating her, and it's something that like in the last episode I was not thinking about that in the slightest. There's no like I'm not intelligent enough or like savvy enough in the ways of this sort of culture to understand the idea of like color coordination between the lady and the lady in waiting, and the idea of like, well, you have to like change your color coordination to support her, and to make it, you know, to make it look more natural. But if they all go with white, then it's very clear Li Shu has like a clashing dress, and then it also stands out against her own ladies in waiting. So it looks like she's just, as I said, it looks like she's just a kid who just like chose a dress and went, that one's pretty, and then just put it on or whatever. But her ladies in waiting were specifically like, here, this one will be perfect for you, and this one will work perfectly for the event, just to make her look immature. And I think that's like a really interesting, like the politics they're going into here. I love how sort of, I don't want to use misogynistic language. I love how catty this series is. I'm trying to use that in a fond term. As in, like, I love that it's like, there's a lot of people trying to sabotage each other purely with like social norms and passive aggression. I think that as a concept is really interesting to me. And then when you have someone like Maomao who can sort of cut straight through that and see what they're doing, but also like not care too much about it, is a great dynamic. I think it's so good. So I've been wondering this whole series about, like, I've been, you know, what shocked me when I've watched the first episode was the fact that Maomao is abducted, sold off, and then she's like, I wonder how Dad's doing. And then it's never mentioned again. So I was very curious, like, if the series would ever bring it up again, or if it's like, that's the setup, let's move past it. But in this, it showed, like, Maomao, it seems like she's a realist. Like, she understood, like, I was abducted, I was sold off, it's not realistic for me to try to escape, it's actually dangerous. So there's no point sitting here crying about it. Like, I'm not going to get anything done by sitting here and being like really frustrated with myself and upset and angry. So instead, I'm just gonna do the best I can to rectify the situation, but I'm not gonna rush it. And I think now I feel like I understand her a bit more, having seen that in this episode it starts with her going like, I wonder if Dad's okay, which is something so simple, but like that's what I wanted to know. Did she care about if her father was okay? It was hard to tell from the little bit we got in the first episode what her relationship with her father was. It didn't look toxic or anything, but it also might have just been like she could have just thought of him as like, this is a man I live with, I don't care about him, this is just a man who I've been with for most, if not all of my life, and like he's just a dude, you know, because some people that is what family is to them. It's like, these are people that that just live with them. For me, family is very important. I care about my family a lot, but not everyone is like that. And you see also the way that some families treat each other, and you can understand why it's not like that for everyone. You can see like, okay, well, if that was what I had to deal with every day, yeah, I wouldn't have much affection for my family. So yeah, I was very curious what her thoughts were on it. But it seems like when she came home, she did seem very comfortable. Like there was a part of her demeanor to me that like that settled in when she got home, and it was like, this is where she belongs, or this is where, like, maybe not where she belongs, but this is where she feels like at peace. And I think that was like is really nicely represented there, and it's like just very simply shown, just like her casually chatting with her father, talking about how she wants a bath. Like we often actually don't hear her, you know, talk about how she wants things for herself that are like stuff like a bath. I feel like if she talks about things she wants, it's gonna be like apothecary related. But her own well-being, at least I don't remember any times where she's really cared as much about that stuff. And in fact, she's like tried to work herself a bit harder a lot of the time, and didn't want people to be like, you know, waiting on her, like giving her extra special treatment particularly. So it's kind of nice when she goes home to her father. It's like, it seems like she cares more about the little things. So yeah, I just thought that was like a very interesting scene, very nice. It is like wild how she just comes back and they're like, oh, you've been gone, and she's like, yeah, I was abducted. And it's like, oh, well, I guess this is your life now. It's like, it's so crazy to me, but it does make sense. I get it. I'm not saying it's crazy as in like this doesn't make any sense. I do think it actually makes sense. It's just sad kind of that it's like that. But, you know, these characters don't seem like, nobody seems too perturbed in this situation. So I'm not going to project my feelings onto these characters and onto this situation, because, you know, if they're all going fine, then it's fine. I mean, it's not fine that you're abducting girls, but I'm not gonna say that she should be more mad about it, or she should be more upset, or they should be like storming the palace and trying to, you know, take her daughter back or whatever. Like, it's not my place to say. So they hinted in this episode that Jinshi, I think they've been hinting for a little while, that Jinshi isn't who he says he is. He has a true status, and in my head, I've thought like he's not a eunuch, right? But I don't know what triggered that. Like, do I have a note that tells me why I think that? Because for some reason, there must have been something that was said. I think it would have been in the last video, in episodes 5 and 6, something that was said, but I don't have it written down, that made me think maybe he's not a eunuch. And then in this episode, they talk about his sort of true status or whatever, and it made me think the same thing. And then also they brought it up several times in this episode. Like, Maomao keeps thinking about the fact that he's a eunuch. And I think that's very funny how often she's bringing it up in her mind. But like, she keeps thinking about that. And so I think a lot of these problems would be solved if he's not a eunuch. You know what I mean? Like, she keeps thinking like, well, blah, 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 but he's a eunuch, so blah, blah, blah. But if she finds out he's not actually, then that does definitely change the way that, like, he can do things, and the way that she thinks about him in terms of as a useful chess piece, I guess. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. I also want to remember the name Xiaolan, because that's the name of the cute friend, and I've liked her character since the first episode. She's very adorable, and I want to see more of her, but I need to first remember her name, so I deserve to see more of her. Okay, well, I think we move on to the next episode. This is episode 8 of Apothecary Diaries. Here we go.
He's getting up there in the years. He really ought to stop working in the field. But there's no denying he loves making medicines out of the herbs he's grown himself. Oh well.
Yeah, if it's a passion, might keep him feeling young. Whoa, who are
Don't
you?
break it. I take it you're a servant at a different brothel then?
Ah.
My dad is. Hey!
What? Where are you taking her?
I got the apothecary. Please hurry.
That smell.
Whoa. Oh shit. Oh shit.
I made them throw up already, but
Yes. Yeah. Get in gear.
And hers is labored.
Oh
We'll need
fuck.
to see if there's any vomit left in their throats. No pulse.
Oh my
Nothing
gosh.
stopping
Oh
air.
no. Is this man just dead? Oh.
Just saliva.
Oh. Okay.
We can't give them any. Charcoal. And make it quick.
Charcoal.
Yes.
Okay. This is very interesting and very intense really quickly.
Spending my morning. Man, do I need a bath?
This is a weird time to be
thank you,
thinking of that.
Apothecary.
Oh, did
They're
she?
both in stable condition.
Oh, good job.
No,
She saved
leave that
him.
alone. What's this? A wheat stalk
A wheat
A
stalk.
pipe. and some tobacco leaves.
She's
They
allergic
really
to
went out of their way
buckwheat,
to cause a
right?
fuss. You should be able to find my dad out in the fields. He'll be near the southern wall. Go and bring him.
Is this okay?
I understand.
I thought you were writing a prescription. Oh shit! Is the girl? Is the girl who poisoned him?
He's safe. He's had some too.
Oh,
In terms of treatment, you
she
did a
was
fair job.
caring about him.
He's able to deduce 2 or 3 facts from a single piece of information.
Cool. So this is where you get it
What kind
from.
of poison do you suspect this was?
I'm up.
Aw, that's cute.
Ideal tool for committing a lover's suicide.
You didn't have them drink any water, did you?
No, she
It
stopped
would
them.
only worsen the effect, but maybe I'm not fully awake. If the poison was soaked in water, sometimes diluting it further is good.
Oh,
Got it. Lesson learned.
interesting.
That's far too much.
Dad, you sure you won't have any problem paying rent this month?
Thank you.
The parent here, old man.
Take the damn money.
Dad wouldn't approve of me using stereotypes, but he didn't seem like the kind of person who would take poison out of despair for the future.
Yeah. They keep showing that girl. Whoa!
What are you doing?
Holy shit! What the heck, girl? Oh my god! Oh Jesus! The headbutt. Ah, she's a kid with a soft skull. Could have killed her.
What is going on in here?
I just headbutt this child.
Apothecary, would you mind if I had a word with you?
Please don't headbutt our children.
He was widely hated. Not only did some woman try stabbing him, he's even been poisoned before.
Oh god,
And
this is a
yet,
common
his
thing.
rich merchant father continues pampering him. When
Okay.
there's an incident, it's settled with money. She was so happy at the thought of being able to live with him. The day of the buyout, he went back on his offer.
I see.
The courtesan who drank the poison today was close to her.
So you want me to keep quiet? If he's such a problem, why not simply ban him? Pricey snacks they served us. Guess that was to say thanks for not letting a rich merchant's son die on the premises. Also, you have my silence.
It's hard to stay mad at a little girl when
It just so
She
happened
really
to be
doesn't-
that I was home for a few days.
understand the
The girl
consequences of her
often shops
actions
with us.
fully.
You would call for a doctor, but she went out of her way to find an apothecary.
Mm.
One thing's for sure, that kid's a lot scarier than she
Yeah,
looks.
very interesting.
And it could have been a forced attempt, but a man who'd been poisoned on a previous occasion wouldn't be so easily fooled.
Mama,
That's what I was thinking as
you
well.
know
If
conjecture
I got
shouldn't be spoken
poisoned
of.
once, I'd be scared.
Remember, what was at the scene? What might have I missed?
This is
Tobacco's
Death
deadly
Note.
and the ideal tool for committing a lover's suicide.
This scene is
What
so
about if the
Death Note.
tobacco-
Now I get it. They prevent lipstick from getting on the cup.
Does a straw poisoned or something?
Rest. There's nothing more to be done.
No, she needs to solve it.
Looks that way.
Seems that way.
So how did she convince him to drink it? The answer's simple. She took a sip as well.
And then kissed him?
If the courtesan wasn't affected, the man would consider it safe.
Oh, I see.
She could 2 types of liquor in a single glass.
Whoa.
The drinks had varying thicknesses and weights.
Whoa.
She poured a heavier one. A small parlor trick to impress the client. Then, she used the wheat stock to drink just the lower layer.
That makes so much sense. That's so cool. Jeez.
She sipped the upper layer. Just a bit, so it wouldn't kill her. She didn't want to end up dead herself.
Wow, that's fucking dedication.
That way, she would increase the odds of him dying, while greatly improving her chances of survival.
What? This is such a cool
As luck would
method.
have it, he appears fragile, but underneath, she's quite cunning.
So much more clever than me thinking like, oh, they used a straw to poison.
The servant girl acted strangely all day. She didn't want the man to survive. Why else would she seek an apothecary instead of a doctor? Not to mention taking her time bringing my dad.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as
Wasn't she
well.
worried? There's the other courtesan who sympathized with the girl. Plus, the well-paying madam. The more I start questioning the events, the more suspicious they become.
They all set it up. They're
Are
all
they
in
all
on
in
it.
on it?
Yeah. Question is, what do you do
Point
about
saying it out
this?
loud when it's only conjecture.
Like, do you report it somewhere? Should you
I really
even?
miss this pleasure district. You can't survive in this neighborhood dwelling on every little problem that crops up.
Maomao?
Oh.
Hey, Maymay.
Maymay. Maymay and Maomao.
Heidi, Joka, the old lady too.
That wasn't my impression.
She acted like usual, correct? She can't tell you to your face.
I see.
Her voice sounds familiar, this one.
Oh no, did I make you all sentimental? There, there.
Not yet.
Oh, look at those eyes. Ah, I love illustrations like that. That's beautiful. Well, Dad, bye forever.
I'm off.
You might be dead when I'm back. Oh my
How
god.
sad you have to leave us so quickly. Tragic, right, Master Lihaku? I for one wish we have to go.
Looks like he had a good time. Once you... That said, I still have to cover for the amount I couldn't pay up front.
It's gonna be a lot.
The next time you're coming home.
She's already got a buyer in mind once my term's up.
Jinchi's not happy.
Later?
Tell us.
Everything.
You're not going anywhere. Everyone is so invested in it.
You wanted to meet?
Why did you go with that man?
Am I overthinking things? Yeah, that's the case. Hopefully.
So then, you went home, huh?
Yes.
Good time.
I was just glad everybody was doing well. And?
Why don't you tell me more about this Lihaku fella?
It means one must be a high-ranking official with a good record in order to vouch for another.
I suppose he gave you a hairpin?
He passed out several, so I received one as a consolation prize.
In other words, I lost to a consolation. Funny how even though I gave you one, you never considered seeking me.
Yep, true.
So basically, he's annoyed because I didn't ask for his help instead?
Yeah, well, you chose favorites.
Is he that bored he wants attention even if it'll cause problems?
No, he likes you.
I deeply apologize.
This Lihaku person, did you give him something in return?
Oh, yeah, you got to fuck some
I
women.
bestowed a night of blissful dreams on him.
Well, not you didn't.
A whole night?
No, be careful with your wording.
Quite satisfied with your arrangement, so I'm pleased with myself.
Oh no, Jinchi. I'm sorry,
Not usually
dude.
this comes. Beg your pardon. I should get this washed right away.
His imagination right now is going
I'll
wild.
also pick up the broken teacup, so no need to bother helping. Excuse me. Whoosh.
I love the sound effects in this show. I love her. That's very contagious laughter. Oh, that's it. Oh. Okay, I just had to add the Apothecary Diaries ED to my Spotify playlist because, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Both the OP and ED now are on my Spotify playlist. We're now, what, 8 episodes in, and I'm so attached to those songs that yeah, I was like, yep, they deserve to be on there. Great episode. Really, really good. I'm so attached to these characters. I love the story. The show makes me also consistently laugh, which I really, really like. How much I'm laughing at it. Like, even there's some things that just like, they're not necessarily funny, but the it's hard to describe, but sometimes when a show makes you happy enough, you're in a good mood already, so the smaller things can make me laugh a lot more. Like, honestly, the idea of like, oh, she, you know, sort of embarrassed herself, you know, she like sort of led Jinshi along and then like left the room, and then Gyokyo, is that her name, was out there like laughing because she just was so amused by everything that was happening. That normally that sort of scene, like, I would be chuckling at it, but it wouldn't be much, right? But it, to me, tickled me a lot because of many factors. One, I love Maomao so much, and seeing the way that she handled that situation and hearing and the voice actor delivering all of those different lines, like, just, I really loved it. Second, Jinshi is in a fun place right now where I do like him, but I don't like him enough that I'm defensive of him. So, like, at least not yet, because I feel like the show is really, like, getting me to like him slowly on purpose because I'm seeing the things through Maomao's eyes and stuff. And so the bits early on where he's being, like, very seductive to her in a way that, like, in the same way that she was like, whoa, this guy's a bit of a creep. That was my reading of the situation as well, as I was like, like, stop getting so close to her, you know, stop touching her hair and doing all of that stuff. So, so because of that, you know, like, they make me reserved of him from the start. And I think in the same way, like, I'm gonna like him more the more he lets his walls down and is not being, like, seductive, you know, not trying to seduce her, but actually is being real with her. But I like him in terms of, I think he's a good character, and I think the voice acting for him is great, and I think I am going to like him. So I'm ready to like him. And I already kind of do, but I don't like him so much that I feel that bad for him when he's, like, really jealous and upset, you know? Like, sometimes, you know, because this feels like a romance show to me. I don't know if it is or not, but it feels like it is at least, like, 30% romance. But they haven't really played with the romance too much. They've done it, like, tiny bits, but since we're seeing this through Maomao's eyes and she doesn't sense any romance right now, the show isn't presenting the romance. So, but with that being said, a lot of the times in romance stories, when you have a scene like what just happened at the end, where she's like, where Jinshi's like, what do you mean you couldn't give me adequate payment or repayment? And she's like, oh yeah, Lihaku, I gave him a night of pleasure and I worked really hard at it. And, like, normally in a romance, there's a scene like that, the viewer is often like, no, what are you saying that for? You're ruining everything. No, don't. You have to clarify right now. Oh my god, this is so horrible. Normally that's what it's like, because her saying this is detrimental to the relationship that you're waiting to get together, right? She's, like, damaging this structural integrity of this love that's blooming between them by having this misunderstanding. But for me, since I currently am not rooting for Jinshi necessarily, even though I think it will be cute eventually when they do get together, I'm not rooting against him either. But since I'm not necessarily rooting for him, it's just kind of funny because it feels like he's trying to do all of this, like, more subtly than he needs to. If he actually, like, wants anything from Maomao, he's got to be direct with her. That's the sort of woman she is. She's a very direct woman. So because of that, like, I don't feel that bad for him, so it just makes me laugh. So that's the other reason the scene works even better, because I find the struggle that he went through in that scene not frustrating but funny. And then the third reason is Gyokyo. I love the way that they've characterized her, and she's like cute and pretty but smart, and also like she's a little bit, she loves not necessarily drama, but she loves seeing shit going on, you know? She likes that Maomao isn't the perfect lady in waiting and that she doesn't know all the customs, because it's kind of funny to see the way she like goes about things. And not, I don't sense it in a way to like mock Maomao. She loves Maomao, I think, and she's not trying to make her look stupid. But at the same time, she's like, well, this will be entertaining to see how they handle this, because they're going to handle it in a very human way. And she wants to see their very adorable human reactions. Like, you probably don't often get to see Jinshi so agitated as he is when he's with Maomao. So she probably finds that funny. And you don't get to see Maomao often, you know, being so clueless, because she's such a in tune, intelligent, and savvy person, that when it comes to Jinshi, she actually loses a lot of that, because he relies a lot on traditions and stuff, which she doesn't care about. And he's got this sort of like possible romantic connection with her that she doesn't sense, because she doesn't feel any spark between them, because she immediately was kind of put off by him and had the wrong idea about kind of who he is. And on top of that, believes him a eunuch, which I still don't know if that's going to be, you know, if they're going to reveal that he's not or not. It's possible they already have revealed it, and that's why it's in my head. Like, they might have actually straight up said in a previous episode, oh, and by the way, you're not a eunuch. Your balls are still there. They might have said that, but I don't think so. I feel like I would have written that down if they said it explicitly. Maybe they've hinted at it, like, very, very heavily. But don't confirm it for me if it's only been hinted at, you know? Like, sometimes that will happen where it's like, yeah, they hinted at it with this line and this line and this line, but it's like they later in the show they actually like reveal it. He tells her, by the way, you know, look, and pulls his pants down, so or pulls his robe up, I guess. So like, you know, if there's a reveal in the show, even if most of the audience has figured it out by the reveal, I don't want to know beforehand. I don't want viewers to tell me the twists before they happen, you know? Yeah, so loved that. Man, the poisoning method in this episode I think was so cool. Like, there's something about that. This is what I was talking about before, like when you add a mystery element on top of the story. Like, I was just gushing about how much I loved the characters and stuff, and then you add a mystery element on top of it, it can make it so much fun. So like, this mystery element of like, oh, I was, you know, trying to see how all this fit together, and I thought something way simpler. I just thought like, oh, it's something to do with the straws. Like, I saw them point out the straws, so the straw must have had some poison in the straw laced or whatever, and so it's like, yeah, they checked the drink, but they never thought to check the straw, and so she sipped from the straw, he sipped from the straw. Like, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I didn't consider the idea of like, you pour 2 drinks with different thicknesses in there, it looks like a fancy cool drink, she goes and he goes, and like, he's gonna take the poison bit, she's gonna take the safe bit. I thought what was gonna happen though is that she takes from the safe bit, but the thing is, like, there's always gonna be some liquid that seeps through or combines or whatever, so like, even though she used a straw and drank from the safe bit, there was still like some lingering poison that would have mixed in or something. I thought maybe that would have been the case. But no, it seems like she did drink it fully safe and then purposefully drank the top layer a little bit so that they could go like, oh, what happened? We committed a double suicide or whatever, you know? But yeah, anyway. Yeah. That was a great episode. Really good episode. I had so much fun. This show, I'm liking it more and more each episode, which is like, the fun thing is, I don't think the show is doing, like, sometimes I would say the episodes get better and better, but I don't think that's the case here. I think the episodes have just been consistently good. Like, they've had a very consistent track record, and yet I have felt more and more attached to each episode because they've been consistently good. So I'm enjoying it more and more as it goes on. And the great thing about shows like that is that it means when I go back and rewatch this show, which I absolutely am going to be doing, I'm definitely going to be rewatching this show. This show might become like a comfort show for me, honestly. When I go back and rewatch it, those earlier episodes are going to be even better because I'm going to already be attached to the characters, and then I'm going to... Oh, I can't wait for a rewatch, honestly. Anyway, that was Apothecary Diaries, Season 1, Episodes 7 and 8. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I will see you next time. Goodbye.